Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about unit number 1, basics of fluid power and pumps. It is the part of hydraulics and pneumatics. Myself M.R. Pardeshi, Mechanical Engineering Department, KKWA College of Engineering Education and Research, Nasi. Let us see first the today's learning objectives. First learning objective is the explain the meaning of fluid power, then the list of various applications of fluid power, then differentiate between fluid power and transport system, then list the advantages and disadvantages of fluid power system, explain the industrial application of fluid power system, then list the basic components of fluid power, list the basic components of pneumatic system, and differentiate between electrical, pneumatic and fluid power system, and appreciate the future of fluid power in India. These are the learning objective for today's lecture. Then introduction. In the introduction of oil hydraulics, if you see in any industry, there are three modes of transmitting powers from one point to another. First one is mechanical transmission, electrical transmission and fluid power transmission. So one by one, first one is mechanical transmission. In older days, the mechanical transmissions are using through the shaft, gears, chain and the belt, etc. Then in electrical transmission is through wires, transformer, etc. Nowadays, in the industry, the automation is using very largely. So eliminating the mechanical transmission, taking the place of fluid power transmission, it is through the liquids or gas in confined space. In this PPT, we will discuss about the structure of hydraulic system and pneumatic system. So we will see the hydraulic fluid transmission. Let us take an example of a hydraulic jack. In the hydraulic jack, you might have been seeing that hydraulic jack in any service station or maybe in four-wheeler service station. Let us take the two pistons or the two cylinders having two different areas, that is A1 and A2, and the two forces, we are assuming that this is F1, this is F2. So here F1 we are applying with the help of man force, and F2 we can produce or we can lift that particular car on the cylinder 2, and by applying F1 the P1 is going to generate, and due to that smaller piston it will move easily because it will expose to the smaller area of this particular piston, and due to that smaller force is required, and this is the larger exposed area, that is cylinder 2, and it will develop P2. So let us take F is the force in newtons, P is the pressure in newtons per meter square, and A is the area in meter square. So in the Pascal's law, if you see the Pascal's law, you might have learned in the second year in fluid mechanics. Whenever the fluid is in a closed conduit, the pressure intensity of fluid is equally distributed in all the direction. So here we are applying the Pascal's law. The intensity of the pressure by applying the force F1, it is equally distributed or it is perpendicular to the wall of this particular cylinder, and whatever the force we are applying here, due to the smaller exposed area, so the F1 is smaller and it will generate the F2 that is ultimately larger. So by applying the smaller force we can create the larger force. So we can say it is a multiplication of forces also. So it is the one of the example of Pascal's law, or we can say the application of Pascal's law. Here, as the F1 pushes or F1 apply, the S1 means the displacement of cylinder 1 taken place, whereas the fluid is comes towards in the cylinder 2, and see the S2 is developed. So the displacement at cylinder 2 is developed, that is S2. So displacement in meter, and where the area is in also meter square. So you can see here S1 is very large as compared to S2. Means you cannot say that you can produce something by providing nothing. You cannot say that because it is violate the basic laws. So here the power is same or the energy is same. Means somebody may say that by using this particular hydraulic jack we cannot provide the power and we can lift that particular car, but this did not happen. So we are at the expense of smaller displacement. Means here the displacement is larger, but the car is lifting at a very small displacement. So here the force is required is very less, and here the force we can produce larger. So as I told you, the magnification of force is also called, it is called Pascal's law. So this is the basic uh, law or the governing law used in this particular subject. Then let us take the structure of this particular system, hydraulic system. So it having the three parts basically. First part is power pack. We can say it is a generation part. Second part is the direction control valve. That is, we can say that it is a control part. And third part is the actuator, or we can say it is a transmission part. If you see the definition of any fluid power system, in that case it deals with the three words: it generate, control, and transmit. So in the generation part, ultimately there are some parts are involved. There are very few parts are indicating here, not the detailed parts. Obviously the generation part, by means of the pump we can generate the hydraulic pressure. See the yellow portion here, the suction line is there. Due to this suction of the pump, and here the pressure is developed, here the red portion is there. The high pressure fluid is transferred to the control part. After the generation of this particular hydraulic pressure, it has to be controlled in such a way that it has to be transmit the power or the particular hydraulic pressure to the next part. So here the direction control valve is using to direct the particular fluid to the actuator. So second portion will be the control part, and then third is the transmission. So in that case you can generate the linear force or you can generate the rotary motion. So here the, as in the picture, the piston and cylinder arrangement is there, so obviously it is using to generate the linear force. So instead of that, if you use the hydraulic motor, so in that case you can generate the rotary motion. So here the one inlet is there, one outlet is there. So due to this piston and cylinder arrangement, so from one side it is uh, allows the fluid inside the cylinder, and at the other side the fluid is out from this particular actuator. So actuator is it is act as a transmission device. So these are the three main elements, or it is based on the definition of this particular hydraulic system. Then if you see the typical hydraulic system, in that case you will find again, as I told you, the generation part. Here the somewhat detailed components are shown, then control part and the transmission element. So here again, as I told you, the reservoir is there, pump is there, electric motor is there. The control part having this particular pressure relief valve is there, direction control valve is there, and flow control valve is there. And after that the transmission part is the linear actuator, or maybe the rotary motor is that can be used. So you can see here the construction part of this particular circuit. Here one by one. First is pump. So here gear pump is shown. The oil tank. Second part. The flow control valve, pressure relief valve, hydraulic cylinder, direction control valve, and throttle valve. That it can be the flow control valve. All the components is shown in this particular diagram. I can say the cut section of this particular circuit. Then the structure of hydrostatic drive. Uh, we have we can call it as a hydrostatic drive for this particular oil hydraulics. As I told you, the generation element, control element, and actuator element. So there are various parts used in the generation element. The pump or motor, then fluid reservoir, pressure relief valve, filter, and piping. These are the part of generation element. Control element having valve, then pressure flow control valve, direction control valve, and pressure control valves are using. Then in the transmission part or the actuator, that may be linear actuator, rotary actuator, or the swing arm is there. So these components are their interaction in the subject of this particular semester. So all the, if you see this particular parts, generation, control, and actuator, you will find the whole syllabus of this particular subject. In the generation part, there are some pumps are using, motors are using, reservoirs, relief valve. There are having 1 to 2 units are there. In the control element, there is again one unit is there, and in the actuator again there are 2 units are there. So if you see these three types or the three parts, you will find the whole syllabus of this particular semester. Then fluid power and its scope. The fluid power is the technology that deals with the generation, control, and transmission of the forces and movement of mechanical element or system with use of pressurized fluid. As I told you, in a confined system, both the liquids and gases are considered fluids. Fluid power system includes a hydraulic system, hydra meaning water in a Greek word, and the pneumatic system. Pneuma means a Greek word. It is a Greek word. Oil hydraulic employs pressurized liquid petroleum oil, synthetic oil, and pneumatic employs compressed air that is released to the atmosphere after performing the work. The term fluid we refer to air or oil for it has been shown that water has certain drawbacks in the transmission of hydraulic power in machine operation and control. The application of fluid power is limiting only by the designer, production engineer, or plant engineer if the application of the lifting, pushing, pulling, clamping, tilting force, forcing or pressing or any other straight line, or there are very various operations are there, or in many motions it is possible that fluid power will meet the requirement in the motion application. So these are the scope. Then fluid power applications. There are stationary hydraulics remain or remain firmly fixed in one position, machine tool and transfer line, lifting and conveying device, metal forming presses, plastic machinery such as injection molding machine, then rolling machines, lifts are using, then food processing machinery, automatic handling equipment and robots. So these are the comes under the hydraulics or stationary hydraulics, or they are firmly fixed in one position. Then the second part is the mobile hydraulics, or obviously it is a move on wheels or the tracks. So the very famous example is automobiles, tractor, aeroplane, missiles, boats, etc. Then construction machinery, tippers, excavators, elevating platforms, lifting and conveying devices, agricultural machinery, These are the mobile hydraulics. Then industry based applications. So in case of agricultural industries, the tractor, uh, farm equipment such as movers, clocks, chemical and water spraying. In automation, automated transmit line, that is like robotics. In automobiles, aviation, construction, defense, entertainment, fabrication industry, food and beverage industry, foundry, glass industry. There are various industry based applications are there, like press tools, printing industry, robots, ships, textile, transportation, and undersea, woodworking. Classification of fluid power system. In classification based on the control system, first is open loop system, there is no feedback obviously, and closed loop system, that is use of the feedback. Then based on the type of control, and NAND, or NOR. Then moving parts logic by means of diaphragm, disk and puppets. Electrical controls controlled by electrical device, programmable logical control, that is based on PLC or microprocessor. These are the classification of power system.